Hello everyone, welcome to the course on Infant and Toddler Early Development Guidance. I'm your teacher, Lee Wendy. Today, let's step into the class focusing on cognitive development and learning support for toddlers aged 19 to 24 months. Toddlers aged 19 to 24 months are no longer simply perceiving and imitating. They are like little scientists who, through keen perception, focused attention, and active exploration, are constructing their own understanding of the world. How can we decipher the code of their cognitive development and become the best supporters on their exploratory journey? Let's uncover the answers together. Today's lesson is divided into two parts. First, interpreting the characteristics of cognitive development in 19 to 24-month-olds. Second, educational support strategies for the cognitive development of 19 to 24-month-olds. Toddlers aged 19 to 24 months undergo a holistic leap in cognitive development. We can understand this through four interrelated dimensions. First, perception is becoming increasingly refined and accurate. The perceptual abilities of 19 to 24-month-olds become more refined and accurate. In terms of vision, they can easily distinguish different colors, shapes, and sizes. In terms of hearing, they can distinguish more different sounds. For example, recognizing the footsteps of different family members returning home. Their tactile exploration is no longer limited to their hands. They might rub their face against a soft towel, or feel the differences between ground surfaces with their bare feet. This more refined perception is the foundation for all their cognitive activities. Second, attention is expanding and deepening. The attention span of toddlers at this stage increases significantly. For highly interesting activities, they can maintain focus for 5 to 10 minutes. More importantly, the nature of their attention changes, shifting from being dominated by involuntary attention to the budding stage of voluntary attention. That is to say, they are no longer only attracted by bright, novel things, but are able, to a certain extent, to actively and purposefully pay attention to certain things. For example, they will repeatedly attempt to complete a puzzle. Third, the budding of symbolic thought. The emergence of symbolic thought is a core milestone in cognitive development, meaning toddlers can form mental representations of things, even when the object is not present. This leads to two typical behaviors: the acquisition of object permanence and the emergence of pretend play. Fourth, the initial manifestation of problem-solving abilities. 19 to 24-month-olds no longer solve problems solely through trial and error, but begin to use simple thinking and strategies. For example, if they want to reach a toy placed high up, they might first pull your hand to go over, or move a small stool over to stand on. This indicates they can perform simple planning and reasoning in their minds before taking action. Understanding these leaps in cognitive ability, how can we build scaffolding for these little scientists to support their cognitive growth? Next, let's discuss educational support strategies for the cognitive development of 19 to 24-month-olds. How to promote cognitive development in 19 to 24-month-olds. Our core approach is to be attentive observers, resource providers, and play partners. First, we must provide rich sensory stimulation for toddlers, supporting the refinement of their perception. Rich sensory experiences are the nutritious meal for a toddler's brain development. We can start from the following aspects. First, create sensory games. Provide toddlers with safe sensory materials, such as fabrics of different textures, silk, cotton, towel, for them to touch. Or make sensory bottles filled with water, oil, glitter, letting toddlers fully experience them, which can greatly enrich their tactile experiences. Second, increase perception in nature. Take toddlers outdoors more often. Guide them to listen to birds, smell flowers, touch different tree bark textures. Learning in nature, the richest sensory classroom. Second, we must protect and guide toddlers' concentration. Promoting the development of attention, often protecting a child's focus, is more important than cultivating it. We need to first create an undisturbed play space. When a toddler is immersed in playing with blocks or reading a picture book, we should not interrupt them easily. Don't offer water, wipe, sweat, or instruct them on how to play. Give them the opportunity to experience a complete, focused thinking process. Second, provide age-appropriate, challenging toys, such as simple puzzles, stringing beads, matching cards, etc. These toys require the child to invest a certain level of attention to complete, effectively exercising their voluntary attention. Third, 19-24-month-olds begin to engage in pretend play. This is their most important intellectual activity. We must enrich play materials for toddlers, supporting the development of symbolic thought. We can provide low-structured toys for toddlers. For example, provide more items like blocks, Play-Doh, cloth, dolls, small tableware, etc. These toys have no fixed way to play, maximizing imagination. Second, participate in and expand the play. We can join as play partners. For example, when they feed the doll, we can say, "The doll seems full. Shall we take it to the supermarket to buy things?" This expands the feeding game into a shopping game, enriching the plot and promoting the extension of thinking. Finally, cognitive development stems from the interaction between the individual and the environment. So, we must create challenging situations for toddlers, cultivating problem-solving abilities. For example, add retrieving objects challenges. Place a toy the toddler likes in a spot they can see, but requires a simple tool, such as a small stick, or method like unzipping a bag to reach. Observe how they solve it, giving them ample time to think and try. Also, let toddlers learn through daily life. For example, when tidying up toys, play the send the toys home game. Learning, sorting when getting dressed. Describe the steps, helping toddlers understand sequence and logic. This lesson is coming to an end. In this lesson, we learned that toddlers aged 19 to 24 months. Their cognitive development is a comprehensive reflection of refined perception, expanded attention, budding symbolic thought, and emerging problem-solving abilities. And we, as supporters of child development, must strive to be creators of the toddler's sensory environment, enriching their perceptual experiences. Be protectors of the toddler's focus, providing opportunities for deep exploration. Be partners in the toddler's pretend play, developing their symbolic thinking. Be designers of problem scenarios, cultivating the toddler's problem-solving abilities. Students, today's lesson ends here. Next time, we will further explore the emotional and social development and learning support for toddlers aged 19 to 24 months.